Welcome to the Someday Readings channel. I am your host, The Someday Reader. And our Someday reading today takes us to a genre which we touched on with Sword Quest, which doesn't really count because that was a novel. That wasn't a novel. It was a game masquerading as a novel. Choose your own adventure. So we are going to enter into the sword and sorcery fantasy genre with J.F. Rivkin's Silverglass. This is the story of a swordswoman for hire, a mercenary named Corson. Corson has arrived in a city which has two competing factions, two families. I'm going to call them the Montagues and the Capulets. And the Montagues are the ones that are running the show. They approach her with an offer. They have a member of their family, the Lady Nyctasia, who is a impediment to their greater goals of really firming up their control of the city. And as a result of this, they want Corson to assassinate her. Corson, being a mercenary, needing a little bit of cash, says, "Sure, I'll do it." So she takes a retainer from the Montagues to kill the Lady Nyctasia, who has a reputation for being a sorceress, a dabbler in the dark arts, a witch, which, oddly enough, features into the complaint that the other family in town, who wants to be the family running the show, the Capulets, have. One of their number died a suspicious death, a wasting death, which they attribute to the Lady Nyctasia and her sorcery. So they also hire Corson to assassinate the Lady Nyctasia. Very popular person. Corson says, "Sure, I'll do it, no worries," and accepts their payment. Well, she accepts the payment from the Montagues and the Capulets both to take care of the Lady Nyctasia, and then promptly wanders off into a tavern to get drunk. It is while she is at a tavern enjoying a few drinks that a bard enters the tavern and does a performance and starts to talk to Corson and chats her up and invites her back to her apartments. And Corson says, "Sure, I'll go." Starting to see a pattern develop here with Corson. They go back to the Lady Bard's apartment, and it is revealed that the Bard is in fact a disguised Lady Nyctasia, who has an offer for Corson. If Corson will forget about killing her and instead become her bodyguard, she will pay her double what the Montagues and the Capulets were going to pay her. This is a great deal. Of course, it says, "Sure, I'll do it." So she agrees to escort the Lady Nyctasia to a local port city, which is outside of outside of town, of course, obviously, and so that she can escape her enemies. Now, the Lady Nyctasia has a few things that she needs to do before she can leave town. So she tells Corson, "Meet me at the gate in a couple of hours, and we will leave and go to Chisholm so that I can get away from all my enemies." Well, in the intervening couple of hours, there's an assassination attempt, and there's some intrigues and various things. But she makes it. Oh, there's Someday Kitty. Someday Kitty taking a chance to visit us here. Hey, come on, Someday Kitty. There you go. Go on. All right, there we go. Sorry about that, folks. But so she makes it to the gate, and she brings the supplies as she promised, the horses, the food, and everything else. And so they leave. And as they are leaving the town, a group of Montague troops ambush them, and the Lady Nyctasia is wounded during this ambush. Well, they start fleeing to get away from them because there's too many of them. They can't fight them, obviously. And further down the road, they're ambushed by a group of Capulets. And the Capulets and Montagues get into a fight with each other over who's going to kill the Lady Nyctasia. And basically, they just don't like each other in general, so they have an opportunity to kill one another, so they take it. And Corson and Nyctasia, they take advantage of this, and they flee. And they ride through the rest of the night until they can go no further, so they stop at a stream. And they make camp in a copse of trees. They're eating dinner and everything, and they're chit-chatting about various things, when they are set upon by a group of bandits. And the bandits, the bandits take everything. They take their horses, they take their food. The only thing they leave Corson with her swords, because she threatens to skewer anybody that tries to take them away from her. So now they're in a really bad spot. They have no food, they have no transportation. They're stuck out in the wilderness. And Nyctasia is wounded, and she says, "I need to see to my wounds." So she goes down to the stream. Corson is really, at this point, trying to figure out, where did I go wrong? Woe is me type thing. She goes down to the stream to check up on the Lady Nyctasia, who is her only means of salvaging anything from this whole fiasco, and discovers that the Lady Nyctasia's wound is now completely healed, which means that her reputation as a sorceress, as a dabbler in the dark arts, is in fact completely true. And Corson, realizing that wizards and sorcerers and sorceresses and witches and everything are generally bad news, says, "You know what? I don't want anything further to do with this," and wanders off. Well, as she's wandering through the brush, she comes to the conclusion that she's made some really bad decisions. And she's trying to figure out, what am I going to do next? I got no gold, got no horse. It's a long way. If I go back to the town, everybody's going to be mad at me because it's obvious that I double-crossed them. And at that point, the Lady Nyctasia rides up with the horses. Corson says, "How did you get the horses back? What is going on here?" And the Lady Nyctasia explains that the horses have been magically bred so that they will always come back to her, no matter what. And Corson says, "Well, this is great. Now we can carry on with our journey." So they begin heading towards the town where Corson expects to be paid. And at this point, I'm going to stop because if you want to find out what's going to happen, if the Montagues and the Capulets, if they manage to give them the slip completely, and also the group of bandits who are now probably not very happy that most of their loot has walked off, you're going to have to pick this up. You're going to have to pick this book up. And this is a mild recommend. It's not a I'm not, if you are a fantasy fan, if the fantasy genre is one that appeals to you greatly, then you would want to pick this up. If you are kind of a casual fantasy person, I would recommend giving this a pass. There are other series out there that you would probably enjoy a little bit more. This one, but if you are a hardcore fantasy fan, I would recommend picking this up. As far as where it should go in your stack, I would put it down towards the bottom because it's interesting. It's entertaining, but it's average. There's nothing really ground shaking or truly exciting about it. It's a standard fantasy novel. Now there are 3 other books in this series, and we should get through the remaining 3, and we're gonna go through them on a book by book basis. We'll eventually get to the second book, and the series may improve, it may deteriorate, but as I said, if you're a fantasy fan, this would definitely be a get. If you run across this in your local used bookstore, I'll pick it up. You're not going to be disappointed if you don't expect too much out of it. It will entertain you. You will enjoy it. It does have its moments. And on that note, I want to say, please like, share, subscribe, comment. If you have suggestions for books that you would like for me to butcher and mangle, or otherwise disparage or talk up, please let me know. Shoot me a message. And I'm gonna thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and have a better one. All right.